Welcome everyone, how's it going? Scrembo here with another price prediction video for BONK cryptocurrency, talking about the meme coin sitting on $2.6 billion volume in the last 24 hours, 77% in the last 7 days, an average of 11% a day, and having a nice 22% movement in the last 24 hours. This is one of those cryptocurrencies which is in the meme side, and of course, at the time we get this specific category of cryptos moving, this one moves one of the fastest, quickest, following the leaders, right? So it's one that worth to keep an eye on. Let's find out more about its price prediction for November, and this is where we are, fellas. Just like for the majority of the altcoins, we broke out of a significant downtrending environment movement, and this thing happened with BONK just, 2 or 3 days ago with the breakout at the level of 3,000. A very strong breakout. The whole thing here, the whole movement that we have printed so far in the last 10 days is consisting of 149% from the lows. Right, so that's a lot, fellas. That's 15% a day. It's normal that at a time you get to touch with major supply from the previous double top and from the area of supply that we're dealing with, to get a pause, to get a selling pressure, to get some of the scalpers out, to get some of the day traders out, to get some of the shorters on board. But this is no big danger as long as BTC Ethereum is healthy. And of course, you cannot consider the end of the bull market anywhere near this period. Not at all. I mean, if you look at the alts, they're extremely far away from touching their all-time highs, including Ethereum as well, right? So definitely not that's the discussion here of seeing a reversal and starting a different environment. No, the discussion here is where we could optimize our positions and what are the levels we should be considering for the highs. Obviously, you don't want to get back into the environment, which is extremely likely, and that means to get below the environment trending line. Extremely unlikely. I mean, that means to crash from here, something like this. Right, 30, 40, 50%, right? So that's very unlikely, fellas. But at the same time, you have to consider that the upside is a lot very interesting going on. The number one extension sitting around, 5 cents for BONK in terms of the way the contract is represented, or 50,000, let's put it that way. Depends, which way on which exchange are you looking at the price. But the idea here is that is one of the all-time high positions that we've been able to secure. And the movement past that should quickly transform that top and should be retested in the near future of 2025. So you want to keep an eye basically on the extension of the 1.618 quite a lot. That's where the big deal stands, and it's around the 70,000 in terms of the price section, right? So that's something I would consider. And of course, the market could extend basically into the number 2 of the Fibonacci extension, but from this place, from this price section, that's percentage wise, not a big deal, fellas. This is 74%, and we kind of know on the other side is slightly above 100%, right? If we measure that, it's 107. We kind of know these meme coins are doing sometimes 800, 1000, 2000% in bull market acceleration phase. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that during 2025 to have that momentum, especially at the end of the bull market, where things are just going wild like they went during the last 7 days. And even more, I would say. Right, so the picture for BONK looks great. It's extremely unlikely to see it change any form of environment. You have to be careful with leverage because of the volatility it has. And of course, these cryptocurrencies should be traded more and more on spot. If you're out there on leverage, you need to deal with the risk management and margin very nicely. Otherwise, this is going to generate you pressure on your margin, and that might end up in a loss, which is not the case. Like, there's no reason you should lose with these cryptocurrencies during these cycles. Of course, you need to know how to trade a bull market. It's definitely not a type of market that generates profit for everyone. The majority of the students that join the coaching program have made a lot during the bull market, but 95% of them have lost everything. Right? So this is the common behavior due to the fact that at some point the bull market does certain movements that are taking the resources that you made during the past couple of months, especially that you try to advance with your trading and you have to progress with that and you get into a type of trading that you are not controlling and not having sufficient skills to perform. So that's where the losses are coming in. And if you lose the resources you made, the percentage is going to cut a lot. Of course, it's going to worth much more if you lose when you've made 100 grand on top of your starting balance. That 10% is going to worth a lot more than what happened at the beginnings, right? So every mistake, in other words, is going to cost you a lot more during that time than any other thing. That's pretty much all. By the way, if you care about education, one-on-one coaching program with me, where I'll take you by hand and teach you how to trade from A to Z, you can find out more on my coaching page. Reach out for a quick call and have a good time, fellas. This is an intensive only for serious people, live on Zoom, where I'll take you by hand and teach you how to trade from A to Z. Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.